Hey, this is another video by PetRock. Today I'm going to try to fix my my plasma TV. As you can see, there's a little black bar on the left side. Right now it's flickering, sometimes it's solid black. So today I'm going to try to fix it. Oftentimes I can just give it a nice big whack on the back panel and it'll start working again temporarily. So that basically means that there's a loose connection somewhere. So I'm going to go try to find it and hopefully fix it. TV is a plasma, is a plasma TV made by Panasonic. It's a 42-inch TH-42PX600U. This fix probably also applies to other model TVs made by Panasonic and others. The general design of most Panasonic's, plasma TVs is that there's a rows or columns of pixels that are controlled by individual connectors, and these connectors sometimes get loose. So that's what I suspect is wrong with mine, and I'm going to investigate that shortly. So the first order of business is to remove the seemingly endless number of Phillips head screws on the back of the TV. Once you get the back of the back panel off, everything should be pretty much wide open. You should also make sure that you unplug the TV from power so you don't electrocute yourself. You also want to let it sit for a little while before starting to touch anything, because you want any capacitors that may have had a charge in them, which are probably most of them, to zap you in case you touch it by accident. Anyway, so first step, start unscrewing back panel off. Just a whole bunch of Phillips head screws. Just take your time, undo them all, and the back panel should just lift up and then out, and it'll come right off. So next thing I like to do whenever I'm dealing with electronics like this, I used to take a can of compressed air and clean out any of the dust bunnies that are in there. So I just use a can similar to this and just spray it all over the place, get all the dust out of there, especially in the fan area and things like that on the top. Okay, now I got everything cleaned up, and to give you a little bit of layout of where everything is. The components on this side, the connectors, those little orange things, are will control the y-axis. So if you have horizontal black bars, then chances are that circuit on the left side is partially to blame. The excuse me, the bar will be virtually lined up with the connector. Now if that connector is damaged, then you can replace either that circuit, or if the ribbon is damaged, then you're gonna have to replace the whole panel, because it's part of the panel. On the bottom of the TV there are also ribbon connectors like that control the horizontal. If one of those is disconnected, then you'll have horizontal bars. So since my horizontal bar is on the right side, or over here, which is technically the left side of the, if you're looking at it from the front, or the right if you're looking at it from the back, it's around here, it's behind the speaker box. So first thing I have to do is remove the speaker box, which is just, all it is actually removing this black connector right there, and disconnecting that connector, and then and pulling it out. There's nothing actually holding the speaker in at this point, because it was held in by the panel. Okay, so here's the top of the speaker box. Here's the bottom of this is the place where the power cord goes in. You have this black connector here, which is for the speaker, and then you have two white clips that go here. You just need to take a small screwdriver and just pop them out like that, as I knock over my tools. And it's kind of hard to show on the screen, sorry about that. You just pop them loose, and then to disconnect this cable, you just squeeze and pull. So now you can just pull this whole box out. Okay, so now I have the speaker off, and so the way this is set up is you have each one of these right here, all the way down the line, controls the horizontal. So you have each one of these controls 2 bars. So you have this one has actually this circuit board right here doesn't really do very much. If you look at the circuitry inside, if you know what you're looking at, there really isn't very much involved. Once you take this panel off, behind here there are actually 2 horizontal, vertical, very small chips. They're part of the ribbon. So that's why they say if you have a problem with this, if you damage these ribbons, or if you have a problem with horizontal lines, oftentimes the general solution is to replace the panel. Where hopefully, in my case, hopefully I'll be able to just remove this, just clean out this area a little bit with some compressed air, and then put it back together again, and hopefully that'll work. So the first step is to get this this ribbon out. Is first you undo the screws here. And then once you have that out, now this is free, and then you have to unhook it from the connector here. Now to do this, you got to be very careful. You don't want to break this plastic. If you break this plastic, you might as well just buy a new board. You don't have to buy a new TV. You just need to find a place that sells this actual board, so then you can replace it. Anyway, so to get it undone, it's just a little lever. So you need to right now it's horizontal, so you need to basically pry it this way so that it'll loosen up. So you can do that very simply with the fingernail, just lightly like that. I don't know if you can see that there it is. You can see it, and then once that's out, then you just pull down and it's disconnected. So if you look closely, see if I can get this in frame. There you go. You got one chip, and then you have the second chip. So this chip right here controls the furthest to the furthest horizontal on the left side of the screen. If you're looking at the screen, this one controls the one that in our case is running black or distorted. So all I'm going to do is basically just wipe this connection down, and then reconnect it up here. Blow some compressed air. Blow some compressed air up in here to get out any dust that may be in there, and then put it all back together again and see what happens. So to show what I was talking about as far as what the columns were, I've kept the cable disconnected, I've reconnected the power, and then I've turned the power back on. And now let me come around to the other side and press the power cable and see. And as you can see, now the farthest left side, 2 bars are now white because the cable is disconnected. So that's just to show you that what I was talking about as far as if you remember when I first started this video, there was a 3-inch column on the left side, and then that was normal. And then the next 3 inches were black or flickering. So that shows that the ribbon that I disconnected corresponds to those 2 columns. So I've gotten it all back together again. The connector is all put back in. I screwed it all back in. I made sure that the connection was clear, and I made sure that the ribbon was securely inside and evenly inside the little connector, and make sure that it was even as well. And it seems to have fixed the problem. So here, take a look. So you can see that there's the black bar would have, or a distorted picture would have covered half of that blue box, password box, previously. So it seems to be fixed. We'll see how long it holds up. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully this will help somebody out.